you're going to be uncomfortable. Can you get that? So we need to address this issue right now. So what I'd like you to do is I want you to get up and I want you to shake hands left-handed, and I want you to greet your colleagues. And I want you to notice what's going on mentally in your head, because when you try and put into practice some of the things that I'll be talking about today, the same noise is going to be going on in your mind. In the Hindu and Buddhist religion, they call it the mad monkey, right? That voice we all have in our head, they call it the mad monkey. Not mad angry, but mad what? Crazy. All right? So I want you to notice, and I want you to get to 10 people. I want you to notice what the experience like the first 3-4 times you do it, and how the experience is different the 8th, 9th, and 10th time. All right? So that's your assignment. You got 2 minutes. So let's get up, say hello to people, shake hands, left and right.
Yeah, you too.
First few times doing it. What was it like, folks? I didn't hear it. Awkward, right. Uncomfortable. And did it get any better? It got better, didn't it? So our fear of being judged, our fear of looking silly, we're all professionals. It's so important to keep our professional image. And when you go to do some of these things, you'll be reminded of this experience. But hopefully what you'll be also reminded of is that if you just do it a couple of times, pretty quickly it got comfortable, didn't it?
Yes.
So it's the mad monkey in your brain that's going to prevent you from taking action and trying some new things. So I hope you remember that, because it doesn't take long to just get through that initial fear and that worry. So anyway, congratulations. So let's talk a little bit about differentiation. Differentiation occurs by doing and saying things differently, and the unique value that we can create for our customers. Banking's a highly commoditized industry. Most are today, aren't they? Highly commoditized. And I imagine, and I have a lot of friends in the room, and I know your banks, is you're not the low-cost provider, nor do you want to be, correct? So we have to do a really good job of differentiating ourselves and adding value. So that's what we're going to be really drilling down on, and looking at what great brands do to differentiate themselves. So you've got a handout, so I'd like you to open up the handout. I'm putting you guys to work. You know, I know you thought you were going to sit there and just relax, but you've got a handout. I want you to open it up to this slide. And if you're sitting down with a client and they ask you, well, so what differentiates you from your competitors? And I want you to answer the question. If you're sitting down with a prospective customer and they ask you, so what differentiates you? What are the 2 or 3 things that you're likely to say? What are the 2 or 3 default things that are likely to come out of your mouth that you say a lot? Okay, does anybody? What did you guys hear? What did you guys hear at the table? What did you hear at the table? Did you hear any similarities? Did you hear anybody talk about their years of expertise? Did you hear about their competitive rates and fees? Did you hear about their excellent customer service? Did you hear about we customize your needs? Did you hear about local decision making? You didn't hear any of that, right? What's the point, folks? Do you get it? Would it be valuable to help you to have something different come out of your mouth that maybe would be a little bit more impactful and be unique? Will that be valuable? So this is a big subject, but I'm going to give you some really tangible things that you can take away. So the reality is almost 75% of bankers make relationship or service claims. 3 out of 4 bankers, when they sit down with a prospect, say the exact same thing. 12 years ago, I was at San Diego Airport jumping on a 6:45 flight to Sacramento. I was going to spend a couple of days with an executive management team of a new client. And so I'm talking to this very smart, successful businesswoman, and we're chit-chatting, and she asked me what I did, and I told her. And she said, "Are you going to see a client?" I said I was. She asked me the name of the bank that I was going to see, and I told her the name. And she said, "Wow," she said, "that's interesting." She said, I've had some relationship managers from your new client come out and visit me about 3-4 months ago, and she said, by the way, I've had representatives from about 4 or 5 other banks come out to see me or want to see me in the last 6 months. The point I want to make here is if you think that your good clients who you've been banking for 20 years or whatever business you're in and you've had these same clients for 20 years or more, if you think they're safe, you're mistaken. We have to be hyper diligent and constantly looking for ways to add value. And in the banking industry, we have a dearth of online competitors that are doing what we do faster, better, cheaper. So we've got to be cognizant of that. So I asked her this question. I said, what was the experience like of meeting with these relationship managers? I've told this story literally hundreds of times on dozens and dozens of stages. She said, and I quote, "It was completely typical and unmemorable." She said, don't get me wrong, they were nice, knowledgeable, friendly bankers. Completely typical and unmemorable. What did she mean? Right? Right? There you are up there. That's you. Exciting, right? Would you like to change? Well, we're going to do that. We're going to take care of that. So let's jump into what great brands do. We're going to look at some of the things from a communication and a positioning standpoint. What great brands do, because I'm going to show you a way this afternoon or tomorrow you can literally change what comes out of your mouth and have much more powerful communication that resonates. First thing is, great brands don't market to everybody. Would you agree? Great brands are very, very clear who their ideal customer is, and they focus as much of their resources, time, energy, and money on getting in front of and nurturing and developing relationships with their top clients. They know what their strengths are. All of you have certain strengths, and from some of the conversations I've heard, some of you are leveraging those strengths, but most of you aren't. Okay, so you're not putting yourself in a position to really exploit your years of experience and the capabilities of your firms and banks. These firms differentiate themselves. They're super, super great at differentiating themselves, and they communicate in a way that resonates with their ideal customer. That's the last point that I've chosen to focus this presentation on today, is how do we communicate in a way that resonates?